Ladies and gentlemen, when was the last time you told yourself starting small isn't enough? When you looked at your dreams and thought, I need a huge breakthrough or I'll get to it when I'm ready. Let me tell you the truth. That kind of thinking is a lie that's stealing your future. Massive success isn't about waiting for the right moment. It's about moving daily. It's about believing in the quiet, boring, but powerful habit of daily action. That's where your life starts to shift. That's where real momentum is born. And that's what today is all about. Success isn't about one big break. It's not a lucky moment or a sudden turn of events. That's a myth most people believe because it feels good to think that one day everything will just magically fall into place. But the truth, success is a result of tiny, consistent, often boring steps repeated over and over again. It's not a giant leap. It's a long walk made up of small, deliberate daily actions that no one else sees. Most people are waiting for the stars to align. They think they'll make their move when everything feels right, when the fear goes away, when the opportunity looks perfect. But life doesn't work that way. Success doesn't come from waiting. It comes from motion, from showing up every single day, even when you're tired, uninspired, or unsure. The daily commitment, that choice to keep going, is what separates people who succeed from people who only dream about it. Think about the people you admire. The athletes, the entrepreneurs, the creators. You might see their highlight reels, the trophies, the awards, the breakthroughs, but what you don't see is the mountain of effort behind it. The thousands of early mornings, the quiet nights, grinding when no one was watching, the long stretches of failure and doubt. It wasn't a massive leap that got them there. It was their ability to take small steps daily without skipping. And you shift your mindset from I need to do something huge to I just need to do something today. Everything becomes more manageable. You stop getting overwhelmed. You stop paralyzing yourself with perfectionism. You take pressure off the outcome and put your focus on the process. And that's when real progress begins. You don't climb a mountain in one jump. You do it one step at a time. Every time you show up for that one small task, whether it's writing for 10 minutes, making one phone call, going for a short workout, you're building a foundation. You're training yourself to trust your own word. And over time, those small wins stack up. One by one, they become habits. Habits become identity. And before you know it, you've changed not just your results, but who you are. There's also something powerful that happens when you stop aiming for huge wins and start aiming for consistency. You begin to develop resilience. Life throws curveballs. You get tired, you lose motivation. But if you've trained yourself to take small steps no matter what, you keep moving forward. That's the kind of mindset that wins long-term because motivation fades, passion dips, but discipline that sticks if you build it right. You don't have to overhaul your entire life today. You don't have to change everything overnight. That kind of thinking is what keeps people stuck. They try to change everything all at once, and when it becomes too much, they give up. Instead, commit to one action a day that moves you forward. Just one, because that's how momentum is born. You build it one small win at a time. And here's the thing. You don't always feel like it. You won't always be excited. That's normal. You're human. But the people who break through, they act anyway. They don't wait for the feeling. They train their brain to do what needs to be done, regardless of how they feel. That's where real growth happens. When you stop depending on motivation and start relying on action, success is not a moment. It's a process. It's not something you stumble into. It's something you build one day at a time. And the beauty of this approach, anyone can do it. You don't need to be the smartest. You don't need to be the most talented. You just need to be consistent. Show up every day. Do the work, trust the process, and understand that the small things you do daily will eventually lead to the big things you dream about. You might not see the results right away. That's okay. Keep showing up. Keep taking the steps because every step matters. Even the ones that feel insignificant, even the ones no one else applauds, they all add up. And one day you'll look back and realize that the path you're walking brick by brick, step by step, has taken you somewhere extraordinary. This is the secret. It's not flashy, it's not fast, but it works. The road to success is paved with tiny daily steps, and every single one is worth it. So stop chasing the leap. Start trusting the step, because your future isn't waiting for one big move. It's waiting for the commitment you make today, and tomorrow, and the day after that. That's how you win. That's how you change your life. Momentum is a powerful force, and yet most people don't realize they can generate it on their own every single day. They wait around for it, hoping it shows up like a spark of inspiration. Or worse, they believe it's only for people who are naturally motivated But the truth is this: momentum isn't something you find, it's something you create. And you create it through small, consistent daily action. When you take action every day, even when it feels boring or repetitive or insignificant, you're doing something crucial. You're setting the wheels in motion. Think about how hard it is to push a stationary car. It takes a lot of effort to get it rolling. But once it starts to move, even just a little, everything changes. It becomes easier to push, easier to steer, and suddenly you're not fighting gravity anymore. You're working with it. That's momentum. It's the same with your life. The hardest part is starting. But once you move just once, momentum begins to build. And once you have it, you become unstoppable. The key is consistency, not perfection, not intensity, just daily action. That small, repeatable movement is what fuels progress. It doesn't have to be flashy. It doesn't have to make headlines. It just has to happen. If you write one page every day, you've got a book in a year. If you spend 20 minutes working on your health every day, you transform your body over time. If you dedicate just 15 minutes to your goals each day, that compounds into hours, weeks, and months of focused effort, and that creates results. But here's where most people get stuck. They want to feel motivated first. They wait for the feeling before they take the action. That's backwards. You don't wait to feel good to get moving. You move and then you start to feel good. Action creates emotion, not the other way around. The energy, the motivation, the excitement you're looking for, they're on the other side of action. They're the result of movement, not the cause of it. You've probably had this experience before. You didn't want to go to the gym, you didn't feel like doing the work, but you forced yourself to take that first step. And once you started, something shifted. Your energy rose, your confidence increased. You felt better. That's momentum kicking in. That's the reward for taking action, even when you didn't want to. Daily action creates rhythm in your life. It creates structure. It removes the guesswork. When you show up consistently, you don't need to constantly renegotiate with yourself. You don't need to ask, should I do this today? It becomes automatic. And the less you have to think, the easier it becomes to stay on track. That rhythm becomes your baseline, and before you know it, showing up daily isn't something you force. It's just who you are. And when momentum builds, something powerful happens. Your belief system starts to change. You stop seeing yourself as someone who struggles to commit. You start to see yourself as someone who follows through. That identity shift is everything. Because once you believe you are someone who takes action, someone who moves, someone who keeps going even when it's hard, you stop doubting yourself, you stop stalling, you stop overthinking. You become the kind of person who creates results, not just dreams about them. Doesn't mean every day will feel good. Some days you'll feel tired, some days you'll feel stuck, some days your progress will feel invisible. But progress is still happening, even on the days where you feel like nothing changed. The fact that you showed up, that you honored your commitment, that matters, that builds inner strength, that builds resilience, that builds the kind of momentum that carries you forward when life throws punches. Small daily actions may not look like much in the moment, but they are the very thing that separates those who reach their goals from those who don't. Not talent, not luck, not timing, consistency, movement, repetition. Every day you either move closer to your goals or drift further away. There is no standing still. So the real question becomes, are you moving today? Don't underestimate the power of momentum. Once it's on your side, everything gets easier. Confidence grows, focus sharpens, opportunities start to appear, but you've got to earn it. You've got to build it. And the way to do that is simple. Take action today, no matter how small, no matter how imperfect. Take one step, then another, tomorrow, then again the next day. Build the rhythm, build the movement, build the momentum, and soon you'll look back and realize what felt impossible before is now your new normal. And it all started with one small step repeated daily with purpose. Every time you take a small daily action toward your goal, no matter how tiny, it sends a very clear message to your brain. On doing this, that message may seem insignificant in the moment, but it's actually one of the most powerful forces behind success, because the truth is your brain is always listening. It's watching what you do more than what you say. You can speak all the affirmations in the world. Visualize your goals, write them down with fancy pens in a brand new notebook. But if your actions don't align with those intentions, your brain won't buy into them. Action is the real signal. It's the proof. When you consistently show up, even when you don't feel like it, your brain begins to build new neural pathways. These are the physical structures inside your mind that help create and reinforce habits, beliefs, and behaviors. The more you repeat a certain action, the more your brain says, oh, this is who we are now. You're literally rewiring your mind with every step you take. Even something as simple as waking up 5 minutes earlier every day, or writing one paragraph of your book, or making one sales call, it creates momentum and reprograms your identity. Suddenly, you're not someone who wants to become a writer. You're not trying to be disciplined. Your disbelief isn't built in huge dramatic moments. It's built in the small ones, the quiet ones, the ones no one sees. The early mornings when you get up even though you're tired. The nights when you show up for your goals after a long day. The moments when you choose the right thing over the easy thing. That's where self-rust is born. And that self-rust is what gives you the power to go after bigger things, to handle more pressure, to stretch beyond your comfort zone. You don't need to wait to feel confident before taking action. Confidence is a result of action, not a prerequisite for it. Most people are stuck in a loop of hesitation. They wait to feel motivated before they start. But what they don't realize is that motivation is something you generate by taking action. Think about it like this. Motivation is a spark and action is the fuel. The more action you take, the more motivation you feel, and the more your brain gets addicted to progress. That little hit of pride, that sense of I did it, releases dopamine, the reward chemical, and reinforces the behavior. So if you keep taking those small steps every day, your brain starts to crave it. It begins to associate progress with pleasure. But the opposite is also true. When you stay stuck in inaction, when you keep thinking about what you want but never move toward it, your brain starts to believe that you're not capable. And it's not because you aren't talented or smart or driven. It's simply because your lack of consistent action has trained your mind to doubt you. Every time you break a promise to yourself or put off what you said you would do, you chip away at your self-respect. You teach yourself that your words don't matter, that your goals are just ideas, not commitments. And once you lose that trust, it becomes harder and harder to start. But here's the good news, you can change all of that right now, not tomorrow, not next week. All it takes is one action, one decision, one commitment to do something today that moves you forward, and then do it again tomorrow and again the day after that. That's how you rebuild trust with yourself. That's how you rewire your brain to believe in you again. The beauty of small daily actions is that they're manageable. They don't require a massive overhaul of your life. You don't need to quit your job, move to a new city, or spend thousands of dollars. You just need to do the next right thing. Read 10 pages, do 10 push-ups, practice for 10 minutes, make the call, write the email, take one specific and intentional step every day. The accumulation of those actions over time becomes undeniable proof that you're changing. And once your brain sees the proof, it will follow your lead. What's even more powerful is that those tiny wins start to spill over into other areas of your life. When you become consistent in one area, you start to believe you can do it in others too. The identity shift begins to expand. You stop seeing yourself as someone who can't follow through and start seeing yourself as someone who does. That belief is what unlocks the next level in your life. So don't underestimate what a single step can do. It may seem small, but it's not. It's a declaration. It's a vote for the person you're becoming. And the more votes you cast, the stronger that identity becomes. Your brain learns by watching you. Show it something worth believing in. Start small. Keep going. Let the action speak. Because every small daily step is shaping the story of your life. And you get to choose what kind of story that is. What you do every day is more powerful than what you do once in a while. That's not just a motivational quote, it's a reality that shapes your entire identity. Every time you take action, even something as simple as making your bed, choosing water instead of soda, or showing up to work on time, you're sending a message to yourself, this is who I am. The truth is, we become what we repeatedly do, and our habits, those seemingly small daily routines, have a louder voice than our intention. People love to say things like, I want to be successful, I want to be disciplined, I want to be confident. But those are just words until you turn them into daily practices. Identity isn't something you find, it's something you create. Every small action, every daily commitment, every consistent choice adds another layer to who you are becoming. That's why daily actions are more than just tasks. They are declarations. They declare to the world and to yourself, this is who I choose to be. You don't build confidence by shouting affirmations in the mirror. You build confidence by keeping promises to yourself. You don't become disciplined by reading books about discipline. You become disciplined by doing the hard thing when it's easier to quit. When you choose to wake up early and go for that run, even when it's cold, even when you're tired, you're reinforcing the belief that you are someone who shows up. That belief becomes part of your identity. And eventually that identity becomes unshakable. Now, here's the part most people miss. Identity is not built in the grand gestures. It's built in the boring stuff. It's not about a single heroic effort. It's about what you repeat when no one's watching. The person who goes to the gym every day without skipping, even if it's only for 20 minutes, is building an identity stronger than someone who goes all out for a week and then disappears. Consistency isn't flashy. It's not glamorous, but it's the bedrock of transformation. Let's talk about something we've all experienced: the gap between who we are and who we want to be. That gap is often filled with frustration, doubt, and self-judgment. But what bridges that gap isn't talent. It's not even motivation. It's action. Repeated, consistent action. You might not feel like the person you want to become yet, but the fastest way to become them is to act like them now. Want to be a writer? Write daily. Even if it's bad, even if no one reads it. Want to be fit? Move your body daily. No fancy equipment needed. Just show up. Want to be a leader? Start leading with your attitude, your words, your presence, right where you are. This is why habits are so powerful. They don't just change your schedule, they change your story. Every time you make a disciplined choice, you rewrite the narrative you've been telling yourself. You stop being someone who always quits or can never stay consistent, and you become someone who does. And the more you do, the more that identity solidifies. It becomes who you are. But don't expect instant results. This is a long game. That's what makes it so effective and so rare. Most people give up when it gets boring, when progress feels invisible. But here's the truth. The results are not always visible right away, but the identity is being built underneath. Every time you show up, you are laying the foundation for the life you want. You are casting votes for the type of person you wish to become. And this isn't about perfection. It's not about never missing a day or never making a mistake. It's about building a trend, a trajectory. You can miss a day, but don't miss two. You can fall off, but don't stay down. The key is always in getting back on track. The quicker you return to your habits, the stronger that identity becomes. Here's what's exciting. Once your habits shape your identity, your actions become automatic. You no longer have to force yourself to do the right thing. It becomes natural. Why? Because it aligns with who you believe you are. And when your identity and your actions are in sync, that's when you become unstoppable. So stop waiting to feel like the best version of yourself. Start acting like it. Let your daily choices shape your self-pivot. Let your routine speak louder than your excuses. Let every small, consistent step become a vote for the kind of person you're committed to becoming. Because in the end, you won't rise to the level of your goals. You will fall to the level of your systems. And your systems are just your habits in motion. Build the right habits and you'll build the right identity. Build the right identity and you'll build a life that doesn't just look successful, but feels fulfilling. It all starts with the smallest actions repeated daily, relentlessly, unapologetically, quietly, until one day you wake up and realize you've become the person you once only dreamed of being. Most people believe that to make progress, you need to go all in, push hard, and give everything at once. They believe intensity is what separates the successful from everyone else. But that's a myth that quietly sabotages more dreams than failure ever could. The truth is, intensity might give you a spark, but consistency is what builds the fire that keeps burning. Doing something once in a while with full power isn't the same as showing up every single day, even when you don't feel like it, even when it's not exciting, even when no one is watching. That's what builds results that last. Here's the thing. Showing up once with intensity is easy. Anyone can do something extreme for a short period of time. You can go to the gym and work out like a beast one day. You can work 12 hours on your business idea over the weekend. You can clean out your house in a single frenzy. But what happens after that? You burn out, you crash, you skip the next day, and then the next, and pretty soon that burst of energy fades into another false start. You fall back into the same patterns, the same excuses, the same mindset. Why? Because intensity doesn't build habits. Consistency does. It's not about how much you can do in one day. It's about what you can repeat every day. Think about it like brushing your teeth. You don't brush for 3 hours once a month, right? You do it every day, even when you're tired, even when you're not in the mood, because it's a non-negotiable habit. That same mindset is what you need to apply to the areas of your life that matter most. Your health, your mindset, your goals, your relationships, your growth. You don't need to go big, you need to go daily. The magic of consistency lies in its quiet power. You won't always see immediate results. And that's where most people give up. They do the right thing for a few days. And when nothing changes dramatically, they think, this isn't working, but they're wrong. It is working, just not in a way that's visible yet. Consistency builds under the surface. It's laying the foundation. It's rewiring your brain. It's reshaping your identity. Each time you show up, you're casting a vote for the person you want to become. And those votes add up. They create a shift. Not just in what you do, but in how you see yourself. There's something incredibly powerful about knowing you can count on yourself. That no matter what, you'll show up. You won't skip the work. You won't break your word. You'll do the thing even when it's boring. Even when you're tired, even when no one notices. That's where true confidence is born. Not from hype, not from quick wins, but from consistency, from discipline, from the quiet knowing that you are the kind of person who keeps going. And here's another truth. When you rely on intensity, you invite inconsistency, because you can't always be at 100%. Life happens, you'll have bad days. You'll be stressed, you'll be busy, and on those days, if your only strategy is to go hard, you won't go at all. But if you're focused on consistency, you'll find a way to show up. Even at 40%, even at 20%, you'll take a small step. You'll stay in motion, and that's what matters. Because it's better to move slowly than to stop completely. People underestimate how powerful small, consistent actions can be over time. But it's exactly those actions that compound. One page read turns into a book. One healthy meal turns into a lifestyle. One uncomfortable conversation turns into deeper trust. One 5-minute walk turns into daily movement. It all starts small. But when you do it consistently, those small efforts create massive momentum. You don't need to be the fastest. You don't need to be the strongest. You just need to be the one who doesn't quit, who keeps showing up day after day, step by step. That's the person who wins. That's the person who transforms, and that's the person you have the power to become. Consistency is the secret. It doesn't make headlines. It's not glamorous, but it's undefeated. And if you choose it, if you commit to showing up, even in the smallest way, every single day, you'll look back months from now and be amazed at how far you've come. Not because you sprinted, but because you never stopped walking. When you commit to something and follow through on it every single day, you're not just completing tasks, you're building trust with yourself. And that self-trust is the foundation of confidence, resilience, and long-term success. Most people walk around doubting themselves, not because they're incapable, but because they've broken so many promises to themselves that they no longer believe their own words. You say you're going to wake up early, you don't. You say you're going to eat better, and by dinner, you're right back to junk. Every time that happens, you're silently teaching your brain that you can't be trusted. And the more you do that, the harder it becomes to believe that you can change. That's why daily discipline isn't just about getting things done. It's about creating a version of you that you can rely on. Think about the people you trust most in life. It's not because they're perfect. It's because they're consistent. They do what they say they'll do. That's how trust is earned. And it's no different with yourself. When you set a goal, no matter how small, and you actually follow through on it day after day, something powerful begins to happen internally. You begin to show your brain, what I say. That alone can be the catalyst for massive transformation. Because once you trust yourself, you're not relying on outside motivation anymore. You become your own fuel source. Discipline isn't loud. It's not flashy. It's not social media ready. It's quiet. It's the decision to go to the gym when no one's watching. It's choosing to keep reading when your mind wants to scroll. It's sitting down to do the work even when the results feel 1,000 miles away. And every time you do that, every time you show up, you're proving to yourself that you're dependable. And that kind of internal credibility is rare, but it's life-changing. You know what happens when you don't have discipline? You live in emotional chaos. Your life is ruled by moods, excuses, and short-term thinking. You become reactive instead of intentional. You say yes to distractions, no to priorities. You quit when things get uncomfortable, and you spiral when things don't go your way. But when discipline becomes a daily habit, everything changes. You stop needing to feel motivated because you've trained yourself to move regardless of how you feel. You've trained yourself to do the hard things because you've seen what happens when you don't. When you build discipline into your daily life, you're no longer a victim of procrastination. You stop putting things off and start building momentum. You take control back. You feel more powerful because every day you're doing what most people avoid. You're keeping your word to yourself. You're not waiting for the perfect time. You're acting, And that action creates clarity. It builds character. It sharpens your focus and strengthens your will. Over time, this daily follow-through creates a powerful feedback loop. You take action, you see progress, that progress builds belief, and that belief fuels more action. It becomes a cycle of self-trust and self-growth. And here's the most important part. When you trust yourself, you stop seeking validation from others. You don't need permission. You don't need applause. You don't even need support because you've got your own back. That's what daily discipline gives you. Not just better results, but a better relationship with yourself. There will be days when it's hard, days when your mind says skip it just once. That's when it matters most. That's when you must mentor what's at stake. Your identity, your belief in who you are, because every action you take or don't take is a vote, the kind of person you're becoming. And if you want to be someone who finishes what they start, someone who doesn't quit, someone who can be counted on, you have to earn that identity. One small step at a time. It doesn't happen all at once. It happens gradually, quietly, privately, but eventually that consistency turns into something unshakable. It turns into a level of confidence that can't be faked because it's not based on words. It's based on evidence. You know who you are because you've watched yourself show up day after day, no matter what. That's the gift of daily discipline. It's not about being perfect. It's about being consistent. It's about becoming the kind of person you can count on even when things get tough. And once you have that, no challenge can break you because no matter what happens around you, you know you'll show up for yourself. And that's the kind of power no one can take away. When people think about massive success, they picture life-changing moments, grand achievements, and breakthroughs that happen all at once. But the truth is, it never works like that. Real success doesn't come in a flash. It comes slowly, quietly, almost invisibly through the small actions you take every single day. These microactions may seem insignificant in the moment, but over time they compound into extraordinary results. Think of it like drops of water falling into a bucket. One drop means nothing. 10 drops don't make a difference. But keep those drops coming every single day. And eventually that bucket overflows. That's how life works. That's how success builds through repetition, through discipline, through the consistency of showing up and doing the small things even when they feel pointless. Especially when they feel pointless. It's easy to underestimate the power of a single positive action repeated consistently. Reading 10 pages of a book every day won't make you a genius tomorrow. But do it for a year and you've read 12 full-length books. That's a new mindset, a sharper perspective, and a different level of thinking. Going for a short walk every day may not transform your body in a week, but keep doing it and your health starts to change. Your energy increases, your confidence builds, micro increases are investments in your future self. They're like compound interest. The longer you stay committed, the bigger the return. What makes this so powerful is that it doesn't require perfection. It doesn't demand massive effort. It just requires that you show up daily, that you refuse to let a day go by without adding to the work, without building on your foundation. Because every time you show up, you're not just getting something done, you're reinforcing who you are becoming. You're saying, this is who I am now. This is what I do. And those tiny actions start to stack. You don't even notice the change at first. You're just doing the work. Then one day, someone asks you how you did it, how you got so focused, how you became so fit, how you built that business, that relationship, that level of peace within yourself. And your answer is simple. I just did the little things every day. People don't fail because they're incapable. They fail because they underestimate how long it takes for effort to bear fruit. They stop watering the plant because it hasn't sprouted yet. They walk away from their goals because the results aren't instant. But those who succeed understand that greatness grows underground first. It grows in silence, in the dark, while no one is watching. It grows when you keep showing up to the gym even when you're tired. When you keep writing even when it feels like no one is reading. When you make the call even though your last 10 were ignored. When you keep making progress that no one claps for yet. The world we live in celebrates instant gratification, fast likes, overnight fame, quick wins. But anything that lasts, anything truly meaningful is built differently. It's built slowly, carefully, with daily intention, with micro actions that you commit to, whether you're in the mood or not. And that's the hardest part because most people only act when they feel like it. But the small, consistent daily steps require you to act even when you don't. That's where the power lies. Not in the size of your action, but in the stubbornness of your consistency. You want to write a book, Write one paragraph a day. You want to lose weight. Cut out one unhealthy snack a day. You want to be mentally tougher. Do one uncomfortable thing every day. These aren't big moves, but done every day, they create massive internal shifts. They train your brain to follow through. They teach you discipline and they create undeniable proof that you are moving forward. And the best part, they're always within your control. You don't need special talent. You don't need perfect circumstances. You just need to commit to showing up. This isn't about motivation. Motivation comes and goes. This is about direction, about choosing who you want to become and moving toward that person with quiet determination. And when you choose to take micro actions every day, no matter how small, you build resilience. You develop a work ethic and you create results that last. Most people want transformation without the process. They want change without consistency, but that's not how this works. Transformation is earned, not wished for. And it's earned through the small daily decisions you make when no one's watching. When it's not glamorous, when it's boring, that's where the magic is. If you can commit to micro actions, if you can stick to doing the little things day in and day out, you'll look back a year from now and be unrecognizable. Not because you took one massive leap, but because you refused to stop climbing one small step at a time. That's how goals are reached. That's how lives are changed. That's how success is built slowly, steadily, and powerfully through the compounding effect of daily effort. You know what keeps most people stuck? It's not a lack of talent, not a lack of opportunity, not even a lack of support. It's the grip of fear and the weight of procrastination. It's that voice in your head that whispers, not today, or what if it doesn't work, and then convinces you to wait. But here's the truth that will shake you out of that cycle. Action, any action, is the antidote. It's the medicine you need when your mind starts spiraling. When your confidence starts slipping, when fear starts speaking louder than your dreams, fear loves stillness. It thrives in hesitation. It gets louder the longer you wait. The more you sit and think, the more power you hand over to doubt. You start imagining all the ways things could go wrong. You start building up walls in your mind that don't even exist in reality. And before you know it, one day of procrastination becomes a week, a month, a year, and your goals turn into regrets. But the moment you move, you disrupt that cycle. You create momentum. You shift the energy from paralyzing to powerful. That first step, even if it's tiny, even if it's messy, is what changes everything. Think about how many times you've sat on an idea, something you wanted to start, something you believed in, but fear told you to wait until you were more prepared, more confident, more certain, and because you waited, it faded. That's what procrastination does. It's the silent killer of progress, but action cuts through it. It interrupts the fear loop in your brain and replaces it with motion, with direction, with possibility. It doesn't have to be dramatic. You don't need to overhaul your life in a day. You just need to do something. Send the email, make the call, write the first sentence, lace up your shoes, say the hard thing. You don't wait until the fear is gone. You take action while it's still there. And you watch how fast it starts to shrink. Because fear isn't removed by thinking, it's removed by doing. That's discomfort with danger. You start to rewire your thinking. Instead of avoiding what scares you, you begin to face it head on. And with every small act of courage, your fear loses more of its grip. It's easy to wait, it's easy to let another day pass and tell yourself you'll get serious tomorrow. But you and I both know that tomorrow's a lie. When it's built on fear, the only way to beat procrastination is to take action before you feel like it. You can't rely on motivation to save you. You have to build discipline. And discipline comes from doing, not waiting. There will always be resistance. There will always be a reason to put it off. But action creates clarity. Action reveals what works and what doesn't. Action builds experience. You can't grow if you're stuck in your head, analyzing every possibility. You grow when you move, when you try, when you fail, and when you keep showing up anyway. And here's the beautiful thing. You don't need to take perfect action. You just need to take any action. Perfectionism is just fear in disguise. It's the excuse we use to avoid doing the work. But the more you take imperfect action, the less afraid you become of making mistakes. You realize that messing up isn't fatal. It's part of the process. And the process is what leads to progress. You were never meant to live frozen in fear. You were meant to move, to grow, to act. That dream you keep thinking about. It's not going to happen because you imagined it hard enough. It's going to happen because you took daily, messy, uncomfortable action, even when it felt scary. Even when it felt uncertain, even when it felt slow, there's no shortcut, there's no hack, just movement, just decisions, just courage stacked daily in the form of small, deliberate steps. And the moment you realize that action is more powerful than fear, that procrastination is just a symptom of hesitation, and that you can disrupt it at any time with a single step, you become unstoppable. Start now, not tomorrow, not when it feels right, not when it's convenient. Right now, one action, one choice, one small move. That's all it takes to start breaking the pattern. You don't have to finish today. You don't even have to do it well. You just have to begin, because every great outcome you're dreaming about starts with one thing: action. And every time you choose action, you're choosing progress over fear, growth over doubt, and your future over your excuses.